In today's video, we're going to be going over the day of the week that is most likely for Bitcoin to put in its next major low, and we're going to follow up on yesterday's short-term time frame analysis and how the overall picture is changing on today, Wednesday, which we do have a nice economic event coming in later today, which probably going to drive the markets a little bit. Anyways, other than that, before we get into it, I do want to once again give the spotlight to MetaSignals. They are offering a 14-day free trial for their services, which essentially, how do I explain it? It's like a spoon feeding signal service, essentially, which gives you probabilistic setups for Bitcoin and some other altcoins as well. To be fair, they actually just launched their short setups as well. And at the end of the day, I do want to say that if you are interested in such things, first off, try it out for free. Second off, if you have any sort of technical know-how, you can really combine those sort of things to actually come up with a pretty damn good overall plan, because realistically, you can certainly make optimizations over their general setups. And then, of course, there is a discount code in the link in the description below. Anyways, let's just jump right into it, starting off right over here with a revisiting of yesterday's analysis. We were looking at Tuesday as a very likely day for Bitcoin to pull back after a Monday bounce plus likely high. And we got both of those things thus far. At the end of the day, I do want to once again reiterate that statistics are just statistics. They're not like magical or anything like that. But when we have been noticing, very obvious days of the week since Bitcoin has put in its all-time high on March 14th, we have noticed that several of these days do seem to have very uniform results in terms of what actually is happening. Until this trend breaks, I'm not going to let go of it just because, it fucking works. It fucking works, and that seems to be a real big point of contention for a lot of people out there. Maybe not a lot of people, just like a few commenters that I see here and there, and then usually the other commenters on this channel whip them into shape. It's pretty funny, actually. That's a good part about having a strong community. Anyways, so yesterday, again, Tuesday, a very likely down day, as we've seen basically all Tuesdays either go down or be basically unchanged, with Monday marking off the closing high of the week. Now, I wanted to do the same thing for Wednesday here. So I've marked off all of the Wednesdays with these red vertical bars since Bitcoin has put in the all-time high at, again, just below $74,000 on March 14th. And I found that Wednesday was a very interesting day because it's a very likely day for Bitcoin to put in the low of the week. So referencing the title of this video, what's the day of the week that we'd be most likely to see the actual next major low for Bitcoin? Probably Wednesday. 7 out of the last 8 Wednesdays were either the low or very, 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 very close to the low for that week very specifically. The one time where that did not work out was back on over here on Wednesday, the 10th of April. And we can see that Friday dumped well below it. But for all the other ones, basically the low of the week. This one was the low before a nice little pop back up. Also very big bounce that day. This one, again, the low of the week right here, low of the week right here, not the low of the week, low of the week right here. This one very close to the low of the week, but actually technically, it actually pretty much is. But on a wick basis. So this one over here, low of the week. Last week, again, very close to the low of the week right here. So in this case, with Bitcoin kind of rounding up yet again above $60,000, is Wednesday going to be a nice little potential low for this week? It is kind of shaping to be up that way. Now, that doesn't mean that in the short term, today, intraday, that we might see a wick lower. We can definitely see that. That would essentially make the low of the week, so to speak. And with that in mind, we should go check out actual areas of interest for that, which over here, we can pull up the daily HPDR bands, and we can see that the blue 38.2% low is at 59,850. So, if Bitcoin did put in a quick wick back down around there and then bounce back up by end of day, that would be a pretty damn good thing, or at least in my opinion, pretty damn indicative that we are going to see Wednesday yet again, have that low of the week, and you can kind of expect a continuation of this bounce, or at least not lower on Thursday and Friday. Again, I'm going to be running with these interpretations until proven otherwise, because when it gets proven otherwise, we probably just see something in general going on different with the market rather than this tight sideways and down. Anyways, going back on over here and putting on the good old trend wave indicator, we can come up with the daily range, and the daily range as it is right now, as this one just kind of marks off the trend for you, is to the upside. Not 34. What the fuck? 63,500. on a closing basis versus the downside, which is 60,150. So as long as things play within that range, there's no real changes, obviously. And still, I would reiterate that my view for the long term is based off of the weekly here. I think that this is just the most succinct and easy way to be looking at things. Above 67,500, bullish. I mean, like, it's the wrong word to be using, but upside at that point is just, it's more or less up only, but pullbacks, and probably not all, immediately, but sideways and up only, perhaps. It's probably the name of the game. And by the same token, below the low right here, it's 56,650. Well, I think you can probably have easier ways to judge a breakdown, but below there, I mean, it would very obviously be breaking down towards, very low 50s, maybe even upper 40s. So going back on over here to the weekly look, same sort of thing. We do have that weekly range between the 50% level and the 61.8 level right here, which is very close to actually the daily range low that we just spoke about in the upper 59. So realistically, probably expect Bitcoin to kind of hang in between there. I really don't have any major issues with Bitcoin long term, as long as it is very specifically above 59,000, let's call it 59,400 on a closing basis, higher term time frame. Below there, yeah, probably looking at very, 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 very low 50s, maybe even upper 40s. Until that happens, we can go ahead and once again reference stochastic momentum. I do want to call back to this trend line over here on the 2-day time frame for CME. We do still see that this regression coming in from the last few major lows, with August lows, the beginning anchor point for this, with the September lows after that, the January lows following that, and then yet again, within this current range right here, which is closing tonight, by the way, as well. And if Bitcoin does close above 58,600, that will continue to the upside. So I think that still gives a little bit more some hopium in favor of the boo laws there. Daily time frame, same thing here too. Well, at least kind of similar. If Bitcoin does close above 61,640 today, again, still keeping that boo laws hopium alive for a low here just above $60,000. And also that would be, I mean, that would be basically confirmation of of rejection or a breakage of this regression here coming in from the last couple, major lower highs on Bitcoin. So that would also be an early indication of things starting to change, starting to waver. And, I don't think that we're going to be looking at anything like super interesting this month. It's still going to be overall sideways within a general range, but it would just be that next sort of puzzle piece, that next sort of, domino block. Is that a thing? I have like the image in my mind, but I don't know if that makes sense. That gets tipped on over in the overall picture of Bitcoin, again, kind of leveling out and putting in this next macro low above $60,000. I won't call to the chart today, or I won't look at the chart today, but again, the Bitcoin production cost fundamental chart, I mean, as long as Bitcoin's around this region, very likely a value area long term. Again, it can dip a little bit below this region for sure, but we expect long term, 6 months to a year out, those are going to be generally good areas in hindsight. So yeah, I think that's going to basically wrap this one up for today. Just nice and short and sweet. I understand that things have been pretty damn boring, so fair enough. It is what it is, man. If you're still watching this shit, then that means that you are a TA nerd, just like yours truly. By the way, for the people who have made it this far in a video that is about a pretty fucking boring market, I should also let you know. One, actually, in a more serious tone, we are going to be having another sale at the end of this month for Memorial Day weekend. And okay, I've like a real serious situation here. So last night, Elsa and I were talking, right? And we were talking. And I was watching this movie, Justice League. Okay, it's like with all of the DC heroes, right? You got Batman and Superman and all of the other ones who don't have any real superpowers. But I was watching the opening scenes, and it was Batman and Catwoman, and I'm like working out in my head, why is Batman and Catwoman related? Like what's going, like, why is it a bat and a cat? And then I ask Elsa, I'm like, why is it a bat and a cat? Why are they hanging out together? She's like, because they're both cats. I'm like, what the fuck? They're both cats. She's like, yeah, they're both cats. Like, they look like a bat is a cat. It's a flying cat. It's like, what the fuck? So I need to ask community here. is a bat a flying cat or not? I mean, what actually are bats? No one fucking knows. I believe that they're vampires, what they really are. But yeah, why is it Batman and Catwoman? Why the fuck are they hanging out? You know, they seem like they would be enemies. I mean, one seems like predator and prey. Anyways, that's enough for me waffling on as of right now. As always, want to wish you the best of the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon with some new answers to the bat and cat conundrum.